I never thought silence could hurt more than words until it happened to me. I was just another employee, working late nights, trying to build a future I believed in. My boss always seemed professional in front of others, but when we were alone, something about him changed. At first, it was small things, unnecessary meetings, uncomfortable stares, comments that I tried to ignore. I told myself I was overthinking it because I needed the job and he controlled my future. But one night changed everything. I stayed late in the office to finish my work. The building was empty, or so I thought. Then I heard footsteps behind me, slow, calm, certain. It was him. He didn't look surprised to see me alone. He just smiled and asked why I was still there. I said I was finishing work. He nodded, but didn't leave. Instead, he closed the door. That sound, the lock clicking, changed everything for me. What followed was something I still struggle to explain. The power, the pressure, the way I felt trapped in my own workplace. When I finally got out, I knew something inside me had broken. But the next morning, I still reported it. I told the truth. I expected support. Instead, I got silence, then judgment. They called it a misunderstanding. They said I was emotional, and within 3 days, I was fired. No investigation, no protection, no justice, just erased. I remember walking out of that building holding a box of my things while people I trusted avoided my eyes. That night, I didn't cry. Not because I was strong, but because I was empty. For months after that, I tried to rebuild my life. New city, new work, new routine. But the memory never left. The way they didn't believe me stayed with me. 8 months passed. Slowly, I started feeling normal again, or at least I convinced myself I was. Then, one day, I got an email, a senior position interview at a respected company. I applied without thinking much. It felt like a fresh start. Until the interview day arrived. I walked into the room, and my world stopped because sitting there was him, my former boss, the man who once destroyed my world, now sitting across from me like nothing ever happened. He didn't recognize me at first, but I recognized him instantly. Every detail came back. The silence, the door, the fear. The interview began. He asked questions professionally. I answered calmly, too calmly. Inside, my heart was racing, but my voice stayed steady. He even smiled and said, "You have strong potential." And for the first time, I felt something shift inside me. Not fear, not anger, clarity, because he didn't have power over me anymore. He thought he was interviewing a stranger, but I wasn't the same person he once silenced. Every question he asked, I answered with control. Every pause, I owned. He had no idea who I was. Near the end, he asked, "How do you handle difficult management pressure?" I looked at him for a moment longer than necessary. And I said, "I've already survived environments that tried to silence me." His expression changed slightly, but he still didn't understand. The truth was simple. He didn't recognize the consequence of what he had done. The interview ended. He thanked me professionally. I stood up, calmly, collected my things. And as I walked out of that room, I didn't feel broken anymore. I felt something else. Control. Because sometimes power doesn't come from position. It comes from survival. And as I left that building, I knew one thing for sure. This story wasn't over, and what happens next will change everything. Stay connected.